just stay with your boy. It's gonna clear up in about 2 seconds. But yo, man, like I said, man, I've been watching this I've been watching this documentary, right? And I was like, dang, like that's cool. Like Michael Jordan telling his whole story, right? But then at the same time, I'm looking at it and I'm like, dang, Michael Jordan, you show is telling everybody business right now. And it really seems like some of that is coming back to him and starting to bite him in the butt because a lot of his a lot of his ex teammates, man, are coming out and they're really getting on his head about it, man. And Boss Cowboy, I want to talk to you about it, man. Let's kind of jump in there, man. What was your thoughts on this Last Dance thing, man?
I mean, I just think man, it's reviving a lot of hard feelings, and because those are very competitive days, and some things when you kind of draw it out of somebody, it's like a scab, right? Where the scab is healing, but you got to leave it alone. If you keep picking at it, it doesn't heal. So it's so much competition and moxie and alpha men and competing for the ultimate championships and taking people dreams away, and you still get to watch this man recall his story from his point of view, and it just sometimes go piss you off.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the nature of competition, and it just shows you that even years and years later, that those championships was like really hard, in terms of emotions and what they put into it trying to get past him, and they couldn't. And just sometimes people didn't like it, even the way that you led, even if you got the job done, you still picked at that scab, and now it's bleeding again.
Yeah, man. And I mean, that's a really good point, Kiggs. I want to know, what are your thoughts on it, man? What are your thoughts
Well,
on this?
I'm just thinking, along the same lines. Sometimes, not intentionally, but you expose people, but then sometimes, you can also get exposed. So I guess some of the true feelings are coming out, and like you said, it's such a competitive, and let's be real, okay, this is in any professional sport is a ego driven sport.
Right.
So
Hmm.
no matter what it is, whether you're the head coach, you got to be a head coach. You want to be the starting DB, or you want a brain surgeon or a heart surgeon. You want every single one of those people to be very, very, very confident.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I just hope we don't see like putting on a band aid on a hemorrhage next, because when people start talking and it gets out there, and now we got the world of the tweets and everything else. Um, there'll be some hurt feelings. I just hope he doesn't put a band-aid over a hemorrhage. But yeah, there's some people that are a little upset, you know?
Yeah, and I also feel like this documentary kind of like burned the whole team aspect out of the whole, I think a lot of guys who felt like they already weren't getting credit for, being a part of that era of when he was winning those championships. I think those guys are really starting to feel like like, yeah, you really had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of those guys are more accept, not necessarily about, I mean, Horace Grant, man, and I just thought Horace was just like this quiet guy, you know what I'm saying? And Horace Grant even came out because and kind of voiced his opinion on how they made Michael Jordan view, how they kind of made, they almost, it's almost seemed like they almost made it seem like, they couldn't do anything without them, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy when you do a documentary on a team, but it's really on an individual. You know what I'm saying? So it's like maybe they shouldn't have said the Chicago Bulls last dance. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they should have just said Jordan's last dance. So then you could have been more centered around Michael Jordan. But I could see if you was on the Bulls how you could be pretty pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole documentary was basically about Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and basically how Michael Jordan was getting paid so much more than everybody else. That's
You know
basically
what
what it's
else?
about.
You know what else is a good point with that too, West Coast? Just let's think about this, and you too, boss man. As former athletes, right? Go back to even high school days,
Appreciate you,
and
Miss T.
coaches would always tell you, right, as a quarterback, as a receiver, whatever position you played, who you supposed to always honor? The linemen, right? The people that don't get much mention. Well, I just think that it could have been a lot more. I don't want to use the word classy because it's not a classy thing, but if you just finish like that, right? And I like to use terms so anybody can start, but who can finish? I think that would have got. I mean, no one needs this. We don't. No one needs to say. Michael doesn't need to say how good he is. We all know he's in the top two of the greatest basketball players in the
Oh,
world
he
ever.
said two. Who's one?
Top two. Well, if he's not one, then he's two.
Who's two
And
then? When
I'm
he's not
just
one,
saying.
I just want to know in your mind when he's not two, when he's not number one, who's two? Who's your number two guy?
That's debatable.
Oof.
Two is debatable, depending on who one is. Could be Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay, I can dig it. What about you, boss? Before we dive into this
Kobe.
football, man. Kobe, there, yeah, I can dig it, man.
And I'm not a Laker fan. Just, I mean, if you're looking for Jordan with more skill, it's Kobe. A little bit less heart, just a little bit though. So I mean, you can't call, in my opinion, Jordan the GOAT and then don't have Kobe right next to him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, some people super upset because I didn't say LeBron.
Yeah.
I would never say LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, because they walked two different courses. So you had people who stayed in the same council and defended their council, and you had another guy that was a mercenary to win his rings. As soon as he took a different route to those rings, you cannot be compared to the guys who stayed put and grinded it out, thick and thin. So, I mean, the last of the Mohicans, in my opinion, that really stayed true to kind of sticking it out, grinding it out to get all the way to the ultimate pinnacle was Jordan, Kobe, and then Dirk.
True. I heard that. All right. Appreciate you guys. Hey, man, it looked like the first show had dropped for whatever reason. I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think my kids in there stepped on the Wi-Fi cord or something weird. That's what I think happened. So I apologize for that. So that's why you had the two shows, but I got that other one out of here, so we good. I need everybody. I got 59 people in here, man, because when we first started this thing up, we had like 140 people in here. I need all 53 of you guys to do your boy West Coast. Remember, we already do. You guys are already handling it on the stars, so I appreciate you guys. So can you guys do me the other S, and that is give your boy a share. I have 12 shares right now, and it looks like Xavier Harris, my supporter, so Xavier Harris was the last one to share. So appreciate you. Hey, let's all be like Xavier and give your boy West Coast a share right now as we go into talking about something that I think that we were all expecting to happen at some point, and that is Alden Smith gets reinstated. And I think that leaves the question to ask, who is next now that he has gotten reinstated? So, man, Boss Cowboy, what was your thoughts, man? I did a video today, and I went live. I had like 400 and some people on the live, so I know a lot of you guys already heard my thoughts. So I want to go through you guys. Boss Cowboy, what was your thoughts on hearing Alden Smith getting reinstated? And I got 17 shares. That means 5 of you guys hooked it up. Kesey hooked it up. Miss Thea hooked it up. Renelle hooked me up. Deshaun hooked it up. Hey, I want you guys, if someone above you, if I didn't say their name right now, that means they didn't share. Look at the person above you and say, hey, man, why you didn't share? Boss Cowboy, what are your thoughts, man?
I mean, honestly, y'all, I expected it, right? I mean, because I wrote about it like a year ago in the buy and hold strategy. So it was really obviously just a matter of time. He still was the riskier one out of the two, right? Because his suspension was not just marijuana, right? His was a big, long rap sheet of issues. And I think what really cleared him was Jay Glazer and so many people that stamped their reputations on his sobriety. You know what I'm saying?
Sobriety.
Yeah. And, the way that he committed to becoming mentally healthy, and the NFL has obvious moved in a direction that's good. They are not looking at just
Appreciate you,
incidents
man.
anymore as just black and white. They have learned the art of gray. And in the art of gray, you have people like Jerry Jones. The former Goodell was just way too black and white. Protect the shield at all costs, even if it takes my soul from having good judgment on issues that requires a, a judge to actually have better discretion. And so I think it was good. it definitely should say that Gregory is a home run because he dealt with one thing and Alden dealt with many things. So the fact that he was the first domino, how does Gregory not be very fast behind him? And it really should be soon. Like, don't drag this out because that's not even fair to Gregory and his preparation. Don't give Alden all of this preparation to get himself in game shape and then act like it's going to take all day on something that you put in your own CBA that is not punishable. Marijuana is not punishable anymore. So that should be, even without the sit down visit, get to work, my man. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then I also thought about this Crawford, because Crawford likely and his money was insurance because you didn't really know what was going to happen. But as soon as these guys clear, it makes me think that, and I'm almost certain that Steven is going to pull what he did on Hearns, where he's going to wait to the very last minute and he's going to go to likely Crawford and say, hey, man, we love your leadership. We love everything about you, but we're overstocked. And that cost us more than what we thought. They're going to use that as an excuse. We're going to need you to take a pay cut, or we might have to let you go because we overstocked at that position. That's exactly what they did with Hearns. And I'm almost betting you $1 million that they go get some money out that guy. And Steven loves to run out the clock. He'll wait till right before we getting ready to go to camp, and then he'll ask for that cut where Crawford won't have many options. And most teams won't even want to take the chance because they never really had the chance to inspect those hips.
Yeah.
So I also throw to Crawford. So there's a lot of things crossed my mind as soon as the news broke on my phone about Alden.
Hey, I want to shout out, before I get to you, Coach, I want to shout out my boy Rodney Smith. He says first time listener, first timer on the stars, and long time listener. I appreciate you for your 100 stars. Miss T, I appreciate you. Miss T, you currently on the leaderboard. You are in second place to Miss Joyce, but Miss Joyce, I don't know, is Miss Joyce in the comment box? Because you know she'll come in here and just like, blah, just blow that thing up. But Miss T, you currently in second place right now on the stars. Bobby Curry, I appreciate you, OG. Long time no see, but I thank you for sharing the stream. And how about them Cowboys South Texas? I'm definitely going to join that group. But hey, yo, we're at 685 stars for the show, man. We trying to get 5,000, trying to get to 5,000 stars today. Coach Higgs, man, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on just, holding, this new era of players, being suspended and then, in essence, being reinstated, things like marijuana and things like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first off, I want to echo a couple things, but that boss man said is this: you need to differentiate when you're looking at situations, okay? Because
Yeah.
they are not all black and white. They are gray. There's
Appreciate you, big
variables,
dog.
and I could talk about this being as a former, believe it or not, a principal in dealing with investigations. That it all goes into how the person, and this is straight up, felt, was coerced, was knowledgeable, or really even has remorse for what the situation that they did or did not allegedly do. So you have to differentiate not only when you look at those investigations, you also have to differentiate with the punishment. It can't be black and white, and this is what we do. So I think the NFL has made a small turn in the corner in a good way with that. Case in point, not to bring it up, I know it's a different scenario, but like Antonio Brown, if you think about it, legally, right? There's not a lot legally that he did against the NFL. I mean, he may have put himself out there in a negative light with what he did and attacking, a country's police verbally or whatever the case they allegedly say he did. But at the same time, right,
Appreciate
it's
you, Dwight.
almost like they're punishing him more. And I'm going to be real with you. I don't want that to happen for him or anybody, but I kind of understand it, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I try. Hey, hey, I don't want to make nobody mad, but I just what I say about OJ. Like OJ, look, bro, I ain't gonna say you did it, but I also heard she was riding around and so I understand OJ. But I ain't gonna say you did it, OJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I totally get exactly what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I will say about the NFL is like now the NFL needs to kind of start looking more pro. I want them to take the approach that the NBA is taking, where it's more of a play. It's more like the NBA is 100% for the players, but I don't want them to Ronnie Downey Jr. and go full retard with it and do it too much like the NBA, because with the NBA it's so player driven that 60 of them games you can't even really watch. You know what I'm saying? It's just not interesting. But everything that's money-wise, that's why you have a guy like Kyle Lowry making $25 million a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that Kyle Lowry is a bad player, but I'm just saying, like, in the era where I grew up, if you were making that type of money, you had a shoe that somebody wanted to wear. I'm pretty sure nobody's trying to wear a Kyle Lowry shoe. But the reason why Kyle Lowry is able to make $25 million is because financially the league is beneficial to the players. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And think about this, like I think it's like if you were just a real I ain't gonna say you're a real football player, but like not a football watcher, but I have some people that just don't watch any other sports. But if you take this same mindset that you look at contracts in football and you look at in basketball, you know what you say? I saw this already. I know exactly what these NFL players are doing. They're doing what LeBron James is doing. Why would I sign this, why would I sign these long deals? Why would I do these things? You know what I'm saying? If there's always going to be the opportunity to take short deals or shake short things and get money, you know what I'm saying? And that's one approach the NFL needs to take. And then secondly, the thing with this, with the suspension when it comes to the marijuana and the drugs. You have a guy like, and I ain't trying to throw I'm not snitching on nobody because you can actually just Google this. But D'Angelo Russell got caught with marijuana with a peace pipe. Lighter and everything, because I guess he thought he was going to be able to smoke his joint on the airplane. I don't know. Maybe they don't sell lighters in New York. But, yeah, he got caught with a lighter, you know what I'm saying? The peace pipe and all, and the weed, all of it. And you know what he did 3 days later? He signed a $120 million contract with the Golden State Warriors, and nobody has heard anything else about it.
Because they were more concerned about the lighter than anything else.
Exactly, bro. Like, we just throw the weed away. It was probably some Texas weed too, so he did. You know what I'm saying? They probably got rid of it. Oh no, we not about to do that. You know what I'm saying?
No, but you know what else too? It also affects, right? You make these mistakes, and you decrease your value, and because you may not be available. And the number one thing about being a player in any type of league is being available. Mm-hmm. So if you put yourself in a position where and I'm not saying for a fraction like that, but I'm saying where you're going to be missing games. That's a different scenario. Mm-hmm. If you're missing games, now, you might not get that contract as high as you want. Or like in Alden Smith's case, we're talking about him. He gets signed for a lot less because of the situation that he's been in prior. Same thing in Antonio Brown. Look what he signed with whoever, New England, right after that happened. Mm-hmm. It wasn't what he signed with the Raiders. Yeah. So your value kind of decreases, and these guys got to think about that. I hope there's guys that give them, the tutelage and the knowledge and the education that they need. And I don't mean from a rehabilitation standpoint. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about so they're successful. So they're smart with their money, because look, someone was smart enough to tell them not to sign 5 and 10 year deals, right?
Yeah.
Well, we got to also talk to them about, how to make themselves more marketable, more financially, I guess, supply and demand based. And that's just part of the game. So I wish them all the best.
Hey man, that was a goddamn, I got to hold on, coach. Cause what you just said right now. Do I have a witness here? You getting some of that. And I really don't know. Yeah, you getting some of that. Going through this morning. You getting some of that. Cause what you said at the end, like, if that didn't slap you in the face, like, do you know that same guy that's telling you don't sign those bogus contracts? Yeah, listen to his advice when he's telling you to do other stuff. Because what I'm saying is there's a mathematical chance that he's probably right on that too. You know what I'm saying? Like that same guy, just he's probably telling you, because typically people who teach you how to make the money, they also kind of tell you how to keep the money safe. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I really do, I am encouraged about Alden Smith's situation before we go into Dak is this, and that is we've actually seen this situation a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? We have some success stories, and we also have some failures. You know what I'm saying? But we have enough where I could definitely say that if he's going into any situation, I think that for him, a coaching staff that has 6 head coaches on it, like, bruh, Like I think for like this is gonna be probation, and then just think about this. We had Jesse Holley on the show yesterday, and he said how when he was talking with not Mike Fisher, but Mike McCarthy on the goddamn Zoom call, Mike McCarthy was on there 15 minutes early just to see who was getting in there, and a minute early, a minute late, and he just to see. And remember, these are his own rookies. You know what I'm saying? Imagine trying to pull some old college trick where you log into the Zoom a minute before and your head coach is sitting there and he's been there 15 minutes. Like accountability. So it's like, be honest with you, man, I think this is the Cowboys, and obviously I'm a little biased because I'm a Cowboy fan. But when it comes to this, man, I'm happy that my team, we kind of professionals in this. Like this whole rehabilitation, we kind of, nobody kind of does it better than the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Us and the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Us. And real quick, man, we never talked about the football impact of Alden.
Ooh.
So, like, we talked about the warm and fuzzy stuff.
Yep.
Alden, his talent is so high, 75% of him will be great.
Yeah.
So I would caution, though, that we need to be very patient as a fan base and hopefully the organization. Because when a guy took 5 years off, it would be unwise for us to expect the exact return from when he left.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always go back and I look at Michael Vick in terms of what did it take for him to get his legs back. He was not Michael Vick, the old Vick of Atlanta, when he first came to Philly. He had to sit, his legs had to come back. You could tell that he didn't have that same explosion. But year 2, year 3, he actually unseated Donovan McNabb, right? But that they were patient, and they were patient with his snaps, right? They didn't throw him out there. Like, be prepared to see him used sparingly. And I think that would be a wise thing to do. Key downs, rushing downs, right? Stuff like that. Don't throw him out there when he's not been in like a physical game in 5 years. Like, get his body time to catch up. And literally, it will likely take him a whole year or 2. So I would caution patience even in our expectations. But the player itself, if we are patient and he does go to 75% of himself, we got the steal of a lifetime.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you,
man, you know what? In West Coast, real quick, you can't let your short-term emotions get in front of your long-term plans and goals. And just to end it with this, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you the cool thing about it is the cool thing about with Alden Smith is you still have a guy in Dorrance Armstrong who I am pulling for to be your starting right end and should be your starting right end. So it's like I don't even need Alden Smith Alden Smith's gonna be at 100%. Want to know why? Because he's only gonna probably be in on 40-50% of the snaps. So it's like as long as you can give me 100% on yourself for 15 snaps, bruh, let's get it popping. You know what I'm saying? Because from what I'm hearing from my peoples down in Texas is like Alden Smith was a guy that some people kind of knew was going to get reinstated. So that $5 million was definitely something that he just kind of took to get in the building. You know what I'm saying? Basically, there was definitely money out there for him. So it's like, if you can get this guy, with 10 to 15 snaps within the first 2 weeks and then just ramp him up, because to be honest with you, like I want Alden Smith at 100, as long as he's 100% by week 15, 16. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Why? Because I have a $20 million defensive end on the other end that should be doing his job. You know what I'm saying? And should actually make it easier for Alden Smith to do his job. You know what I'm saying? Because DeMarcus Lawrence, if you guys go see it, statistically, everybody that plays on the opposite side of DeMarcus Lawrence has a career year. And I'm just saying, if Robert Quinn can get 11.5 sacks on the opposite side of DeMarcus Lawrence, and then Randy Gregory and David Irving get 14 combined, bruh, Alden Smith's going to get 20 freaking sacks. He's going to get 20 freaking sacks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the reason why
freak like that.
Yeah,
though.
and obviously,
I wouldn't be surprised if he came back and really was super disciplined I want to throw a curveball real quick. It's a real good one too.
Go ahead,
Y'all
go ahead.
ready? If Alden came back, there's truly hope for David Irvin.
Yes, because David
But
Irving.
see, David Irvin should look at an Alden and feel total shame, bro. Like Alden was able to come back from being out 5 years with a way longer troubled past. So if I'm David Irvin and I'm sitting in my apartment, because I saw how he's living, he's not even close to where he should be living. He should be like on a boat right now, right? Literally, he should have a boat that's a lot less than Jerry, but still just as nice, right? If that doesn't put a fire in you to say, you know what, maybe I don't need to be the weed ambassador. Let me be right
At
now
least
the
not right
football
now.
coach. Yeah, not right now. Cause I see that if I connect with the right guys, if I show the right type of attrition, if I show the right type of spirit and hard work and hustle, and if I actually work out and I'm prepared, the league want my type of talent. You know what I mean? So it's like David Irvin right now need real friends. He need friends that'll say, "Hey man, I really like your cause," but do that like 3 years from now, 5 years
Exactly.
from now.
And I hope that stuff is happening too, man.
Exactly.
Like now, with not being out.
Now,
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago and months ago and all that. Just because of the status that we're in uncharted waters. We don't know. I mean, I'm sure guys are working out and working hard. I know they are, but overall, is it to the leadership and the camaraderie and that family togetherness that holds a team that says, I'm staying in tonight. It just as a general term. I just hope that's happening because,
yes.
like you said, if it is, I mean, you got a new regime, you got new coaching staff, you got a lot of new stuff going on, got a lot of new players, and I mean, things are looking up, man.
Yeah, and I mean, a testament. I'm gonna tell you this: a testament to this new regime, and kind of, something for. I mean, you could just kind of take a small victory. Is, man, look at. It's May 20th, and as you can see around the NFL, and especially in our division, kids have found ways to get in trouble. And we're in May. You know what I'm saying? We only got 2 more months. You know what I'm saying? So we at least know it's been working up to now. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, like I said, some kids will go out there and literally find trouble. You know what I'm saying? So
what scares me too? I'm going to throw something out there, right? Let's just be real with this, right? In your own personal lives, in your families. I mean, here at my house, right? People been getting a little, just be real, edgy, losing patience, ready to go do something, right? So when it all comes out and we're able to go out, and I'm just going to things are opening and downtown and all that, depending on where you're at, that could make a huge difference because I take a lot of sayings, and John Madden said it long time ago back in the 70s when he had the Raiders. Nothing good happens after midnight. So hopefully not in just Dallas, not in any of these Vegas, any of these cities. I'm just hoping, man, we got people that aren't letting loose, so to speak. Like you like the first time you get to college, right? First time you get to college, you don't have anybody with you. You're not all cooped up. You got to make decisions on your own. Think about that for the rookies right now. The rookies that have been all cooped up, them too. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I'm going to put it out here because I don't like to predict wrong things. But guys, I think I've earned your trust a little bit.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen, man. And I don't know where. I'm just telling you, something's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's already happening. Great point, Coach. Like,
you talking about with the Cowboys or with?
No, I'm not saying Cowboy.
It's all over.
Oh yeah,
Right,
absolutely,
though, Coach.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Before we got on this show, what did we were talking about? Like you wanted to talk about the Dunbar kid, and like what did I say? Like, man, I ain't gonna lie. Like I literally feel like you're about to hear some gambling ring getting broke in the NFL. Why? Because there's just too many kids right now that were sitting at home with endless amount of PayPal accounts, with playing Madden, playing all these other video games, and guess what? There's no sports on. So what do you gamble on? Like, what do you gamble on? It's not even really gambling. Hey, man, I bet you won't beat me for 10 grand. Oh, you beat you. Okay, guess what? That guy doesn't pay your 10 grand. Now you're Gilbert Arenas. Now, people be like, oh, somebody would never why would they jeopardize their career? Well, let me tell you this. Gilbert Arenas was the highest paid player in the NBA. And you know what he did on one Tuesday night? He walked into the arena with a gun over $1,000 bet. He was the highest paid person he was the highest paid player in the NBA. And he brought a gun into an NBA arena over a bet. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with the money. It has everything to do with the pride. Just like with them boys, and we were talking about it in my scout group. I said, you know what? When they were like, yeah, they only asked for watches. I was like, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like underground gambling. And then you know what they do? When people don't pay, they take them watches. Why? Because they know them watches is probably the only thing that's real on your arm, and they can get their money back for it. You see an AP, that's $13,000. You see a Cartier, that's $15,000. If you lost $12,000 to me, give me that watch. The only problem is
that ego thing too,
exactly.
Right?
The only problem is they called the police, and they know they wasn't supposed to. You should have just paid that man.
Honestly, good part about Dallas getting in trouble with so much BS. Like,
I'll take this any day. Dak drama, any day.
Like when Dak is headline news over a dinner, Dallas is always kind of taught that everybody's watching. Mm-hmm. Like Coach Higgins always say that. Like, you're always being watched. He say that a lot. Always being evaluated. The first time I met Coach Higgins, he was super clean shaved, fresh shaved, and he said, it's because somebody's going to be watching me, right? And so nobody knows that better than Dallas. So, like, I saw you put out one time, thank God, you said West Coast. You said, thank God Dallas is not getting in trouble. I think Dallas has learned. I'm not saying that nobody's going to get in trouble, because obviously it's too many people and too many moving pieces to perfectly predict that. But at the same time,
we'll take a victory up to now.
You have been in Dallas the last 4 years, and you don't understand that a little bit of anything can go way overboard in this brand.
Yes, bro.
If anybody is sheltered right now during Corona, it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and think about this, boss. The only thing that people tripped on us was our quarterback working out. That's it.
Yep.
That's really the only thing. And I'm going to tell you why I can kind of like, people say, oh, yeah, but you don't be celebrating too easy. You're going to jinx us. You can't jinx grown men, because grown men have their own. I can say whatever I want to say, and they go do it wrong. That's on them. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. I'm now closer to football than I am further from football. And I'm going to tell you guys, kids get in. I call them kids because that's what they are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These kids get in trouble just like your kids. They get in trouble at the beginning of summer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're further away from when you start getting to school and start getting that groove, they start going to bed on time. They start getting that motion. Damn, it's time to go back. It's time to get back on the grind. We going to get school clothes. We starting to get, you know what I'm saying? These guys are starting to get back in football mode now. So now they're going to be back around trainers. They're going to be around players. They're going to be around management. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what else?
Go ahead.
Think for 1 second, and I'm going back to the relationships.
Appreciate you, Kevin.
Kid, and you talk about let's just talk basics. People like to be rewarded, checked up on. People need structure. They need discipline. We're going to find out right now, and I'm not saying it ends all the nonsense that could happen out there, but the teams or the staffs or those coaches, whether it's virtually or text message or, Zoom, talking, whatever, Colin, the teams that are building those relationships and talking and keeping tabs. Hey, man, I'm just keeping track of you, seeing what's going on, man. You doing well, whatever it is. Those are the people and those are the teams that are going to do the best, because these guys do need positive reinforcement, but they do need structure, and they do need to make sure that, of all things, that relationship with that coach and that organization is a very positive one.
Absolutely. Hey, man, let's go on to this next thing, man, and I appreciate everybody in the comment box. Hey, my boy Kevin just put 100 stars in there. We're currently at 1,600 stars. We're trying to get to 5,000 stars tonight. I appreciate you guys. We about to talk about our quarterback getting paid, man. Why? Because I was talking to Coach Mike Fisher on Monday, and the same thing I asked him, Jesse Holley, yesterday. I said, hey, man, they're talking about opening up these camps on Friday and letting, at least up to 75 members come to these camps? You know what I'm saying? Would that put some type of artificial deadline to get this money done? So I mean, I wanted to kind of talk about that. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to ask each and one of you guys. And also appreciate everybody that's in the stars. I also want to thank my boy Curtis who just shared to his timeline. I appreciate you, bro. We just hit 100 shares. Miss Tony hitting it again. Hey, Charles Walker, I appreciate you, man. Just hit with the 400 stars. Appreciate you, big dog. My boy Dion, he says Dallas Cowboy News. I appreciate you. And my boy Pepe, appreciate you, big dog. He said he shared it in Ride or Die, them Cowboy fans. And I'll show he says I'm all show the truth. Y'all show the truth. Okay, appreciate you, big dog. And Wanda, appreciate you for that too. We just hit we're at 2,080 stars. Remember, the goal for the night is 5,000. I want to know, man. We actually straight
Hold on,
up.
real quick, West Coast, real quick.
Shoot.
Just real quick. We also got some tip jars up.
Hey,
right?
go ahead. Go into that.
Yeah, and see, my stars are approved, but I got to hit a certain benchmark. I'm right there hitting it, and then y'all be able to support. And Coach Higgins, listen, y'all. Coach Higgins putting in a lot of work, like in terms of his prep and everything, and he also has a channel. So don't forget about Coach Higgins either, because y'all tipped me and I appreciate it. But I also make sure that y'all, show a little love. I mean, because he's giving of his time and he's also giving us great intel on the Redskins. And I want to really kind of put that out there because, I checked my Cash App. I already saw some people put some tips and I appreciate it. But make sure y'all also reach across the aisle and also help Coach Higgins as well.
Salute.
But that's
I
all
did
want
get
to say.
one, so I thank you so
Appreciate
much.
Oh, you got one, man?
Hey,
I got one. I got my first one.
All right, man.
Man,
I want to spank him for you, Coach.
Hey,
But you know what though? Everybody on this is sharing this page though. All my guys, I see you out
go.
there. Ray,
Yeah.
you're on there.
That's another way to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pay by sharing too. Good point, Coach.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you guys for Coach Higg, the number way you can do is like he actually has a show that he not talks cowboy football, he talks football. You know what I'm saying? And that's just common sense football. That's the basis of football. If you want to check those things out, that's the number one thing you can do right now and that is help grow the brand. You know what I'm saying? Growing the brand, and you grow the brand, everything else will come with it. So I want to let you guys know my boy Coach Higgs does a show and he talks about 4-3 defense, 3-4 defense, wide receivers, drills, anything, like literally like
football.
Football. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you guys, there's not a lot of we talk a lot of football, we talk a lot of cowboy football, but it's a good source if you just want to know football. Like if you
football.
You know what I'm saying? So make sure you hit that up. So hey, we about to talk about this real quick. Flat out question, and that is, will Dak Prescott get signed by Friday if these camps open? I want to go through the room, man. We'll start with you, Coach Higg. And also tell you this. My boy Jesse Holley, it was actually Fisher that said this stat. There's 14 franchise tagged players right now who have not been signed. You know what I'm saying? And they're still out there. I want to know, do you think this corona is having an effect on this? And if it does, do you think it will end when camps start opening?
I think that the coronavirus does, in the simple fact of owners aren't making decisions on whether or not we're able to open up. So if you're getting ready to open up a checkbook, but you don't know if we're even going to start, well, then why would you open up until? Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing to hear. So now I could go one or two ways with this by Friday. If you really think that the coronavirus had nothing to do with it at all, whether or not Dak got signed, then I'm sorry, Friday's not going to matter. But if it did play a part in it, and we've gotten through some of those things, and let's be real, Dak has not put stuff out in the media. He's been very, very respectful, got a lot of class and character. So we don't really know on his end what, where we're at with that. But my point is, if it had something to do with it, well, in the latest hour when they find out we're starting, I think it'd be a very wise decision. So I would err on the side of yes, but that's just my take.
Yeah. Go ahead, boss. What's your thoughts?
Man, I took my glasses off and I'm getting ready to put them right back on because I really honestly feel like I got a real clear view on this. To the point I put out a really good video on this. It's on my page. I think it's a great possibility that Dak is signed this week. I think, and it's obvious that they're talking. So we had the privilege, Coach Higgins, of having Mike Fisher on the show Monday. And when he was on Monday, what number did he kept saying, West Coast?
Mike Fisher,
13%.
13.1.
He kept 13.1. So when an NFL insider keeps saying an exact number, you had an exact conversation.
Or something close to it.
You had an exact conversation.
Or
Now,
we'll just say in because Fish is the homie, so we'll just say or in something close to it. just to
and that's
phrase
not
it.
saying anything bad because I don't think they revealed everything to him.
Mm-mm.
Because Monday we was all trying to put the puzzle together ourselves. Because remember, he was throwing out 13%, and then I did the math and I said 13% of the current cap of 198.2 million is 25.
Mm-hmm.
So what are they gonna do with 13%? And then he just was like, nothing, throw it away. But the next day, we heard the other news. It was from from Sims. And he talked about the 45 million in year 5. And that's when the bulb went off. I'm like, that's it. So the conversation is obviously, in my opinion, this is they're having a conversation, in my opinion, and they're conversing about how do we structure your deal to address your concerns, Mr. Cowboys? Because Stephen Jones came out and said that if there's a certain percentage of the cap, it hurts your chances of a Super Bowl. So in sales, I was taught this in advanced professional selling that you usually try to address high level sales from what they call spin, where you first got to deal with the situation, the problem, have a implication question, and then the need payoff. It's called spin. And so the first thing that they're doing to me in this proposal is addressing the problem. So, Steven, you said that the cap is a problem. What we're going to do is we're going to still let Dak bet on himself. The way that Dak bets on himself is by putting all the money on the back end of the deal. That's super risky because by the end, the cap would be so great that they can mess around and help themselves by unloading on Dak by year 5. But Dak is saying basically, I take that deal because I feel like I'm gonna make it to contract 3. I honestly think that's what he's saying. And so the other key point that Mike Fisher brought out was around 2022. He said, or after that, he's expecting a spike in the cap from the television revenues. So it's a genius proposal that Ty Francis, to me, obviously came out with. And so the proposal seems to be this, and I'm just speculating that what we're going to do is we're going to allow you to be in a position where you're comfortable but year 1 is only going to be 25 million, and that's where Mike Fisher was hearing 13.1. But it's going to escalate, and it's going to continue to escalate, but guess what? It's not going to hurt as bad. Why? Because there's going to be a gigantic spike by 2022 in the total cap, where by the time we get to the end of his contract, $45 million is still going to be around 13% of the cap. Because remember, he said this around 2023, around 2024, he said average quarterbacks are likely make around 60 million. So this is taking us to have the ability to forecast. If we are the type people that's looking like right now, year 1, and we only focused on, by year 5, Dak won 45, that greedy bastard. No. Forecast what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And guess what? We also have clues. We can look at the clue from The Last Dance. Guess what happened to Scottie Pippen? He signed a 7-year deal, right? Now, through hindsight, they looked back and said, if you would have broke up your contract, you would have made $90 million. So, and guess what was happening? Television revenues was getting ready to what? Spike. Guess what's getting ready to happen? Television revenues are getting ready to what? Spike. So basketball happened a long time ago. We're just now getting to that point again in football. And just to answer your question, because all of that led back to your question, Is there a possibility for him to be signed this week? I think strongly, man.
Yeah.
Because you raised it. You said, man, it's a potential artificial deadline, right?
Yeah.
And you said it to Mike Fisher. And when I was going through everything and it, boop, I said, I think West Coast hit it right there. I think Dak want to get in there. I think that's why Todd Francis is having this conversation. And he's like, man, I'm trying to get my guy in. I think he want to be in there with CeeDee Lamb. I think he want to just put this behind him. I think he's tired. And he's like, this is going to be my compromise. Give me 45 at the end. That way, that percentage of the cap is going to be an excuse you cannot use. And let's get this done so I can go play with my boy.
And you know what he's really saying?
I think it's true, West Coast. I think it's a possibility.
Yeah.
What will hold it up would be if they trying to stick to making him team friendly on the total guarantee. If they still trying to fight about that, it's going to linger. But if they ready to end that, and you can end it because in a 5-year contract, that gives you more room to do what? Top golf. Because golf is 110 years in a 4-year contract. If you do 5, you got more room to fit in more guarantee. So, I mean, I think it's a very real possibility, and I just really honestly hope that Dak is worn down, and I honestly hope the Joneses are worn down and afraid of Watson.
Yeah, I mean, my thing with Dak Prescott, I think that also too, it's like from a physical standpoint and from a mental standpoint, I know Dak is ready to get on the football field, man.
Yeah,
like I know he's ready to get on the football field with everything that's going on with the corona, with his personal life.
Yep.
I know Dak is ready to get on the football field because that is your avenue of just like that's the one place that you can just go and just be, you know, what you know what I'm saying, just have freedom. You know what I'm saying, is on that football field. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I know that's for sure. So I know that is for sure weighing on Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? His agent don't got to do that. That doesn't even weigh on Jerry because Jerry's not suiting up. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I definitely feel that's weighing on Dak now. I think that if you really look at it, he's getting the same. He's still getting $35 million for 5 years. That's still what the deal is. The only difference is they're just going to take the $10 million off 1 year and put it on the end. That's it. Because if you do the 25 and the 25, 35, 35, 35, 45, that still comes up to $85 million. So the total.
You know what, though?
Go ahead.
You know what, though,
go ahead.
Doesn't this, which everything you guys have said, everything from the percentage of the spike, that's guaranteed. A new CBA is going to go up. The salary cap is going to go up. It kind of makes sense for both sides, doesn't it? I mean,
it does. Close it out.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's not a bad business decision. Jerry wants to have a good business decision. That's a good business decision.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny?
I love that specifics are being leaked.
And you know what's so funny?
Specific 13%, and we heard a specific 45. And I'm not saying this to say anything negative about Mike Fisher or Sims. I just love the fact that when you're hearing specific details, somebody has a specific conversation with a specific person of power, and that means that they're talking details.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, if I'm trying to read the tea leaves and you're hearing details, that says that they're really attempting to close this out. What we all need to cross our fingers for is that Watson and Mahomes don't get paid within the next week or two.
Yeah.
Because then that would just throw everything out, and then everybody would start over and it'll get messy again.
And you know the cool thing about the game is after the first week of that documentary, The Last Dance, every single meme that was on the internet was talking how sad and how like mad people were that Scottie Pippen got taken advantage of for taking a 7-year deal. And then y'all the same folks that want your own quarterback to take a 7-year deal. Like y'all like literally, like think about that. Like I'm not saying that we did all this on purpose to tie all this in because we're not that smart to do that. Like we didn't do all that.
Man,
to just,
Coast, man,
like, bro,
I'm just
saying, bro. We didn't start this show off with The Last Dance so that we could tie all this in. Like we didn't do that on purpose. Like that was definitely a God thing. But yeah, man, just think, man. Like the internet literally was like hold up real quick. I got hold up.
Hey, when's the last time you heard of the 7?
Hey, hold up. I gotta get.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
I gotta give one.
Boy,
no, for real though.
That
when's the last time
quickly.
you heard of a 6-year deal?
I know, man. But I mean, but you know what? That's why I just say that, if you just looking at the trend, you guys would have already known that Dak wants a 4-year deal, because there's no way for Dak to ask for a deal that's like Wentz or Goff if it's not 4 years, because none of those dudes got 4 years. But what Jerry is hoping is that fans are not intelligent, because somebody said I said stupid, and I never say stupid, but I just did right now. But he's hoping that fans are stupid and that they don't actually go figure out the money, and that they don't actually add the money up, because it's the exact amount of money. Like, and to be honest with you, a 20, yeah. And then you know what's going to be so funny, right? If Dak takes a deal where he takes $25 million, that is a team-friendly deal, right? So I want to know, who are we signing after we sign Dak? Because the whole time that you've been telling us we ain't signed Dak is so that we can build a team around him. So as soon as Dak gets signed, you had better go get Jamal Adams. Because if you don't, what the hell? What was you talking about then?
Antonio Brown.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. But you get what I'm saying, though? Like,
Man,
hey,
I get you.
like,
Say
you
it
can't be
again.
telling
Why
your
organ at
bro.
hit it?
You can't be. Hold on. I got you.
Do I have a witness here? And I really don't know what you're going through this morning.
Like, man, you can't be telling your lady, baby, we ain't got money for that. 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 And then you show up with the new Xbox 5 that's $540. You can't do that, bruh. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So if you get Dak Prescott to take this team-friendly deal, and you guys be sitting over there like this.
It's cool, man. Got red bottoms on.
Life is
Life is good.
good. You going to be sitting over there with feeling good. I want to know, what are we going to go? What are we going to do? Is Jerry buying another yacht? I want to know. Just let me know now, so I won't be let down. Because I feel like you're going to sign Dak, and then you're not going to re-sign anybody else. And you're not going to go bring in this infamous free agent that you guys keep hinting that you're going to bring in one day, and that Dak is the reason why we can't bring him in. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that happen, Buzz? I'm curious. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to save so much money on signing Dak Prescott to a deal like this.
Throw a name out there. Uh-oh.
Say, what you
It's
say?
not happening.
Davion Clowney?
I mean, I would love it. I would love Griffin. I would love Adams. I would love all of those big names.
I'm cool on Clowney.
But Stephen Jones himself actually came on and
I got guys with the same production. That's way cheaper.
He bragged on, we haven't signed a big name since Deion Sanders. Well, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you won
the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
There are certain players
so stop saying dumb stuff in the media. Stop saying dumb stuff, Jerry. Steven. Like, man, they like, for real, they be making us look bad, bro. Like, for real, they be making us look bad. Like, because even Fish was like,
it make us look bad, man. Like, it's like,
because think about this. Because even Fisher's like, like, I've had a relationship with these guys for a long time. So he's like, well, Steven, and this is how he talks. If that's the case, then aren't you guys doomed now? You're about to give Dak the most money that's ever been given to a quarterback that's ever worn a Cowboy uniform. Ever. Not even just quarterback, player. Dak will be the highest paid Dallas Cowboy player ever if he takes the franchise tag at $31.3 million right now. He's the highest paid Dallas Cowboy ever. If that's the case, Steven, aren't we already doomed?
Right.
So that's why I said, if you really believe in your analytics and your numbers, you should have drafted a quarterback.
Yep. Or you should use the exclusive tag on it.
Exactly. But you're not doing that.
First round picks.
And that's why I be saying, boss, that's why I be saying, coach, like, I be really thinking, like, maybe I did say the word stupid on the show, but I be really thinking that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones be thinking just some of us is just flat out just either dumb or lazy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
you
West
couldn't.
Coast,
Hey, boss,
quick,
you couldn't pull that on a New England fan base. You couldn't. Because
I don't
think about
think
this,
you
they let Tom Brady go and they ain't cried and they ain't even got a quarterback. But
No,
you know what? They
no,
trusted
that's
in
not
their
elite.
empire.
You don't want to
I
make me
think
mad.
it's
though.
a mix.
If I'm a Cowboy fan sitting there for you, just to throw this out there, right? Because I'm hearing all
Right.
this, trying to think about it in a different light. When the statement comes out next, well, that was our plan the whole time. We were
Oh my God! to shit on your quarterback, was your time all the time.
Oh no, we knew we'd get a deal done. We knew we were just trying to restructure things for both sides, and Come on, man.
Like
Really?
you don't have in 2020, you don't have to SHIT on somebody to get what you want. Like you just don't. There's so much money involved. Like there's so much money, bro. 120, 180, 190. Nobody is really getting taken advantage of when you're getting that type of money. You know what I'm saying? 200, you're damn near getting $200 million. You're not getting, nobody is going to end up getting taken advantage of. So since that's the case, why can't you just treat the dude like a regular dude, man? You know what I'm saying?
And you know what, West Coast, I'm gonna lean on what Jesse Holley said a little bit, because people don't understand the value of our combined voices. Like our voices really matter.
Dang.
Partially why I believe the Joneses play that kind of throw people under the bus game and that public negotiations game. That's what I'm referring to when I say throwing people under the bus, is because they don't want to piss off the fans. So if they can get ahead and say, well, if we don't get this done by this deadline, we just trying to get Dak to understand that we trying to build around him, because they want to blame Dak versus just let the fans figure it out on their own. Because if they just let the fans figure it out on their own and they end up on the wrong side of it, then they're concerned about merchandise sales, the way that we view television boxes, the way that we support, the way that we tailgate, all the ways that we keep those cash in their coffers. So it's a money motive. It's a money motive, and it's a great deal to do with why they do it. The bad part is Coach Higgins talked about this last week. It's bad for football. It's just bad for football. And you asking your best players to just really believe, I was just playing. It was just business. But the sad part is this too, and I said this about business. It's hard for me to believe that you have my best interest in mind when I'm finished playing for the Cowboys, like he always say. Well, we just trying to get him to understand that, when you're a Dallas Cowboy, your life after football is going to be X, Y, and Z financially. But when you've divided half the fan base and made them think that I'm greedy, you basically threw salt in the water you want me to drink. So it's just, it's an ugly way that we finally get to the finish line. The only good thing about it in the silver lining is we got a good tracker to finally getting there. But like, it's definitely sausage making when we on the way though. It's ugly and I hate it. And it's I can't wait till Dak is signed. Because when Dak is signed, there's no more major distractions, like Coach Higgins said.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. When Dak gets signed, we really going to be on our toes. Because what the hell we gonna talk about then?
We talk about everybody's getting evaluated all the time, but here's what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing a group of fan base evaluating the management of Dallas Cowboys, of how we're handling things. And I know that you can't necessarily hold them accountable, but the quickest way to get some leverage, like you're talking about, is to voice your opinion, to go ahead and show your love for what you see as right in the business sense, and do what's good for football. Build your quarterback up. Build him up. Because guess what? He's playing for the fans. He's playing for the fans.
Right.
And his teammates,
Yeah. Hey, I want to give Miss Denise some glory hole. She just
I want me some glory hole.
Just signed up as a supporter, and I got one more. Let me see. I got you. I saw your name flash across the screen. Shout out to my boy Brian Double with the 100 stars, Miss T with the 50 stars, and here you go, Chucky. My bad, Chucky and Denise. Welcome to the Scout Nation. I will be inboxing you.
I want me some glory hole
by the end of the evening and putting you guys in the Scout group. I appreciate you guys. Let's take this. The quest for 6 begins now, man. I appreciate you guys. Hey, man. Coach Higgins is a wide receiver / DB coach. There's no way that I would not let him off here without us talking about some DBs and possibly some wide receivers. But tonight we just going to talk about wide receivers in Jess, and I appreciate you, Miss Denise, and I appreciate you, Brian. We're going to talk about these wide receivers, man. And a lot of people don't even know that last year, for the first time in Dak Prescott's career as an NFL quarterback, he actually had a wide receiver go over 1,000 yards. Since 2016, Dak Prescott has not had a wide receiver go over 1,000 yards, and the Cowboys haven't had a wide receiver go over 1,000 yards since before this year, since 2014. Now, You know what I'm saying? With all that saying, imagine all the accolades and things that Dak has achieved without having a wide receiver go over 1,000 yards. But last year, he actually had the privilege of having 2. Now you add CeeDee Lamb in there. My boy Randall Cobb had 826 yards. He dropped 6 passes, and he averaged about 16 yards per catch. If you do that math, if he would have caught everything with his per average, puts him at about like 940 something, so right under 1,000 yards. I think CeeDee Lamb is a way better athlete. I think he drops less balls. So if CeeDee Lamb is able to come in here and do what Cobb is doing, then I don't see a reason why he wouldn't get 1,000 yards. So I want to know, you guys, did Dak Prescott for the first time have his most exclusive wide receiver core, and does he possibly have 3 wide receivers over 3,000 yards? And before you start, shout out to Miss Joyce and shout out to Miss Tony. I appreciate you guys. We're at 3,500 stars. We're trying to get to 5,000. Just need 1,500 more. Actually, we're trying to get to 6,000, but man, we can get to 5,000. I ain't tripping. Hey, let's talk about CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Amari Cooper. Coach, what's your thoughts, man?
You already know how I feel about it. I think you got a dynamic talent with CD. I think he's going to fit in real nice. He puts a lot of positive pressure on the core as a whole. I think that if you had which you don't, but I just want to bring it up for the fans to understand this. If you had the same system coming back and it was the same regime, well, then it would probably be like moving other people around and you just, stick CD in one spot on the outside if maybe Gallup moved inside or whatever. And you got some other options there we talked about before with Pollard. But with that being said, they're going to come in, all new system. They're all going to be learning at the same pace.
Appreciate you, Miss Joyce.
There's going to be some really, really good opportunities for CD to make some plays. And I think that you're going to see him coming on a lot of crossing routes, working on matchups inside because, the game is faster. I know you see dynamic talent, but they're going to want him to be successful. Gallup has already shown he's been successful on the outside. He's just got to catch the ball very consistently. And, of course, we know what Amari can do. So now you put CD, in the middle, working on safeties, linebackers, those types of things, creating matchups. It's going to be great. Going back to your 3,000 yards and three 1,000-yard receivers. If you just take 300 yards as a base and there's 16 games, that's 4,800 yards, right? 16. So, or 15 games, 4,500. I think that you do, but I think that you just want to have a balanced offense. And what I mean by balanced is I don't mean 50 run and 50 pass as far as a percentage. I want there to be an illusion that either could happen on any down and distance. So 1st and 10, we can run and pass. 3rd and 3, we can run or pass. If you get yourself into a situation like that, with Dak getting out of the pocket, and using his feet, not to run, but to create plays and getting the guys the ball in space like CD and of course, Gallup and what he's shown down the field. And you already know about Amari. Again, going back to this, I just think that when it looks and appears to be balanced, it puts a lot of pressure on that defense, a lot of pressure. And pressure burst pipes. Coaches know what they're doing. And so back to the original question, I think you got Amari at 1,000. I think you got another one probably. If it's not 3, then the next couple it's like 7, 8. Like it's gonna be
close,
real close. Yeah, because why? Because you got Ezekiel Elliott that's going to run for, what is it, a guaranteed 1,600? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Hey, and I want to say something real quick too, man. That's information you're getting from a wide receiver coach. If you liked that information, hit that tip jar, my boy Coach Higgins right there. Hit that tip bar if you agree with that answer. And I'm gonna be honest with you, disagree, hit that tip jar and just put him a little text in there. Say, I disagree with what you said. You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, man, you're disagreeing with a coach. You know what I'm saying? So since I'm just saying, if you're not a coach, shut up. I was gonna say this though. Coach, because so many people in this comment want to know. And shout out to Miss Joyce, shout out to Miss Tony. They are battling in the comment box, and my boy Brian just got in on some action. What are you doing with these 3 receivers? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like Gallup can play some slot. He would be a bigger slot. I think he's a little, But I want to know, what are you doing as far as CeeDee Lamb's placement? You slotting him up? You Xing him out? What you doing?
I'm creating motion. I'm using motion and formational shifts to see what I can do to the defense. I'm letting that defense react pre-snap because now Dak, remember now, he's had a few years now. The game is getting slower. It's slowing down. So now we start formational shift. And one thing a coach is, and to break this down for the fans, is you use motion and shifts to figure out and have a pre-snap read on what the coverage is, or at least the matchups you create. Man-to-man coverage is very simple. Man-to-man, throw it to the best guy that's going to win. If your number one can't beat the one, go to the number two, go to three. That's very simple.
Yeah.
But what these teams do now is they create, on defense anyway, somebody is going to blitz, or maybe they'll send, 4 guys coming from Dak's left, meaning his blind side. And then all of a sudden there's a shift of the linebacker. They call it a buzz, where now the corner comes here, the safety's over the top. So now what looked to be a cover 2 is a blitz coming one way, and now it's cover 3 or cover 4 or whatever have you. You can mix in the coverages. The reason why I'm bringing that up is when you have the formational shifts, there's certain indicators that just you can't go away, because if they go away, now it's either this or that. And if you get an either this or that with an NFL quarterback, man, now once the ball snaps, then you got your post-snap read. So to answer the question, I'm moving shifts and I'm using motions to create matchups so that Dak and the receivers, because they're going to be taught the coverages as well, see the blitzes coming, so we can throw what's called hot. Someone blitzes, I get rid of the ball real quick. No pressure on Dak. Hot read is like if a receiver just replaces a blitzing linebacker, something like that. And then the second part of that is, to understand the matchups that we're going to get, whether we're trying to get a inside matchup, or maybe they're heavy on the inside with one of their slots, and now you got one-on-one on the outside. So that's kind of the general sense of what I would be doing. You watch. You have motions, you'll have shifts, and ultimately, regardless, you're going to use Dak's talents, which is going to move him around too.
Yeah. And hey man, Boss Cowboy, I want to know, man, you a DB, man. You a DB? You being a DB, what as a DB, just kind of lining out there and just seeing the Dallas Cowboys bringing this 3-headed monster out there. And I want to shout out some couple people in this comment box. Shout out to my boy David Dries for coming in, man. My AKA, he was once my cameraman on the spot one time at a SportsCon event. Shout out to Miss Joyce. I appreciate you. Shout out to Brian Double. I appreciate you. Shout out to Miss T. Miss T, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Hail to the D4L. I appreciate you. And my boy Landon says he got you, coach, on your tips. So he got you. He says I got some trainers and picks, and he said he want to pick your brain. So, coach, I need you to do me a favor. Can you please drop your page in the comment box, because I think you have some people that definitely want to follow you. So Mace, please drop that in there, because I got some people that's asking some caps. Because I'm gonna tell you guys, this is one thing I believe in, man. I believe in that there are no James Bonds. Like my dad used to always tell me, there are no James Bonds, meaning there's not anybody that is a professional or a know how to do it in everything. But a wise man keeps a bunch of individually great people around him, so that you're always covered. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Coach Higgs, about the whole game of football, he know more than me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the job. And I salute him. That's why he's on the show. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to these Cowboys, I got you on your head. And I'm like, if he Kim, I'm Cardi. You know what I'm talking about? I'm on your heels, man. I'm on your heels, coach. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But, boss, I want to know, man, because I'm going to ask you a different question. Because, see, I asked Coach the statistical question. You know what I'm saying? I asked him the statistical question. I want to know, does Dak Prescott, oh, my God, West Coast, there you go, bringing up Dak again. But
Man, ask your question, man.
If Dak isn't in camp, could that affect all of what Coach just said? Coach, did you just tell me that my quarterback at camp could hurt the production of this 17th pick wide receiver I just got? Come on, Coach.
Sorry, it makes sense.
Coach, why? Come on, Coach. Why are you saying stuff like this, Coach? So now you're saying we almost got to sign Dak because it could affect it could affect how my rookie starts off his first season in the NFL? Boss, come on, boss. I'm on the ledge. Tell me that's not true. Tell me those guys aren't connected. Tell me it doesn't matter. Tell me it doesn't matter, boss. Make me feel good, boss.
Come on now, they're gonna think smart here.
I just want to know, boss.
Here.
I mean,
Boss.
could that affect everything he just said? I want to know, boss.
Mostly no. I was thinking yes for a while, but I moved to no because I feel like Dak, when he came into the season last
I'm
year,
saying, will it affect
Dak was
CD?
just
Not Dak.
so.
Not Dak. Not Dak. I'm saying, will it affect CD? We're not talking about Dak Prescott. I'm talking
Without
about,
being you talk affect CD not having his quarterback.
or not even having his quarterback, but just having that start, that fiery beginning start. Because if he holds out, he's not going to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Dak holds out.
If Dak holds out, if we don't get this say, because everybody's saying July 15th, but I'm saying if it doesn't get done and Dak's not in the building, do you think that can affect your chemistry, or you know how I believe in chemistry, or do you think that can affect your rookie wide receiver who you just
It
brought in?
can, but no, mostly no. And I came to know because mostly CD is in just a dream position, man. CD is coming in as the third threat with literally like top level skills. So, and we all know Dak distributes to the guy that wins his matchup. So, and he's made to win his matchup because likely he's going to go against the second or third corner mostly. People still respect Cooper over anybody when it comes to routes. I had the privilege of talking to Michael Jackson last week, who was working out with one of my trainer contacts, Real Truth. And he told me straight up, he say, man, the DBs on one-on-one run from Cooper. They don't want it. They don't want to get a rep against Cooper. So that's still going to be a factor that's going to just open it up so much for CD. And I honestly feel like the Cowboys are going to factor that in to their equation if they want to kind of try to hold it up to the very last limit of July. Now, what you like, you want it optimized, you want their relationship optimized, then you want to pay them and go ahead and get them working out together. But he already know Gallup. He knows Cooper. He knows D. Smith. He knows Zeke. He knows those guys to where I feel like it's going to be like a bike, to where once you rode a bike, you get on that bike and you know exactly how to ride that bike again, even if it's been 20 years.
And you know what?
Boss,
If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm not paying you then. If you feel that way, if you
What do you
feel
know
that you
about
can
the
just drop
offense?
somebody in here at any time and
Yeah,
it's not gonna.
the offense, and that's the big if right there. And so that and that's where it could
That's the
be.
issue.
That could be the issue. Like perfectly said, Coach Higgins. And that's why I like what I've been hearing where Coach McCarthy has been saying that he's more so trying to adapt to the language of last year's offense versus trying to make them adapt to him. But at the same time, it's still going to be a lot of West Coast principles to where Coach Higgins is right. It could affect all those guys because when you're trying to run a whole new system, bro, that's something that's just, especially a West Coast system, because a West Coast system is honestly, I'm gonna just be honest, it doesn't fit Dak because a West Coast system is more about rhythm throws, like your feet got to match the route and the progressions of your receivers. Like, and I know this because I used to have to defend against it, right? So when we went against a West Coast offense, we had to read the drops of the quarterback to determine the routes because it was that much in sync. So if it was a 3-step drop from a quarterback, Coach Higgins will tell you from the receiver side, yeah, it's gonna be a quick break or a stop. If it's a 5-step, it's gonna usually be a dig, right? Or it's going, it's gonna be something that's gonna be an intermediate route. If it's a 7-step drop, then you're looking at a 9, a 7, or 8, right? Which is a post, a corner, or a fade, right? So it's more timing, and Dak is not really a timing thrower. He's a rewarder to the guy that wins and he distributes.
Okay.
So to get him to sink into a system like that is risky, to Coach Higgins' point. But the overall matchup to CD Lamb, I still think he gonna be okay. But Coach Higgins right. The risk is adapting to the new system.
Yeah, and then
Well,
you
not
also
only that, but with the Red Rocket, you can't really run the whole system.
exactly. That's where I was trying to. That's the point I was trying to lead to. Like, do I think CeeDee Lamb is going to run slower or faster because Dak's not out there? No, but no one can convince me that that CeeDee Lamb's progression is not going to be tainted a little by not being out there with an elite quarterback throwing him the football. because there's certain things like that. That's a phenomenal point, because that's also the thing that why I was pushing on my show earlier today, why I was saying that the Dallas Cowboys, as much as I love Andy Dalton, should really looking at getting Deshaun Kaiser. He's free agent, he's young, and he moves. And the reason being is because he's just like your quarterback. If Dak goes down, you're technically going to be running a different offense because,
different style.
Andy Dalton ain't got no 21 rushing touchdowns. So you think when teams scout Dak, they don't scout his big old tree trunk legs? Like, Dak led the NFL in quarterbacks rushing for first downs. You know what I'm saying?
Yup, and touchdowns.
And you would think that was Lamar Jackson. You would have thought that was Lamar Jackson, right? No, it wasn't. It was Dak Prescott.
It was Dak.
You know what I'm saying? And we want him to do it more. So, in my opinion, it's really hard. And to be honest with you, like as much as I know that CD Lamb was, I know he's 17th pick, man. You know what I'm saying? Won the number 1 overall pick, won the number 2 overall pick. So what does that let me know? That guess what? That there's someone said that there was, either a little growth or whatever. It needed something there, you know what I'm saying, to get picked where you are, right? So coming into this NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, when they were sitting there, they were not imagining him catching balls from Andy Dalton. You know what I'm saying? They were envisioning this offense with Dak Prescott. And I'm going to be honest with you, if the Dallas Cowboys could realistically envision Andy Dalton in this offense and nobody missing a beat, we would not be having a conversation about Dak Prescott.
Absolutely.
We would not be. The reason why we have this conversation is because we know it's different.
Analytics, Andy Dalton would be your quarterback.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you really believe that.
Because Andy Dalton's had a 3-headed monster. He has Sanu.
Right.
He has Sanu, Marvin, and A.J. Green.
Yeah, so that, like, into Fisher's point, if you have to pay Drew Brees 20%.
Hell to the D4L.
Remember he said that?
Yeah.
Like paying him like 15%, does that mean you're not gonna win?
Exactly.
Right? It's how he said it. Was funny.
Like, what would you want, the 15% or Drew Brees? That's
what
he said. You want the 15% or do you want Drew Brees? Like, at the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down to it. Do you want the 15% or do you want Drew Brees? Okay, you want Drew Brees? Okay, then sign Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you guys the last thing I'm going to say before we get on this, and we're going to talk some more defense at length too, because I see some people in the comments saying, we want more defense, so we're going to talk more Hot Boys tomorrow. Last year, that's all they said I talked about.
Oh, they want to talk defense?
Yeah, last year, that's all they said I talked about.
Give them that defense, bro. We ain't gave defense in a while.
Yeah,
and
but
it's a lot. And it's a lot of stupid stuff.
But you want to know why, though? You know the good thing about the defense is,
I don't mean to say the word stupid, man, but it's some stuff that's aggravating me, man. Like, can we just go real second to this Awuzie stuff, man? That is killing me. Like, bro, that makes no sense, bro. Not on.
I mean, this is from what I hear from Dallas. And I'm going to keep it real. I was listening to a radio station. I was listening to Dallas.com, and they mentioned Chidobe Awuzie as if it already happened. Like, oh, yeah, and Chidobe Awuzie.
Who go play the corner?
I'm just saying. Hey,
Daryl?
Don't get mad at me, but I'm just saying. The way they were saying it, the way they were speaking about it, as if they were, and this is Shannon Gross that said this. He spoke as if it's already happened. It's not we're talking about if he changes to safety. The way he said it, they said it was already happened. Like he's like, you're going to have Cheeto back there, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking in my head, man, if Clinton Dix, maybe that's the reason why Clinton Dix, to be honest with you, if Cheeto's going back there, it leaves you open to believe that either or Xavier Woods is not going to make this team. Like, there's going to be
making
I believe he is too. I believe he is too. But just like we thought Georgia Local was going to make this. But I'm just saying, hold on. Just like we thought Georgia Local was going to make this team. Bro, I could have put money that Georgia Local was going to make this team. Georgia Local even said he thought he was going to make this team. You know what
George would have made this team.
He would, exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
He didn't make the team where it was predetermined roster.
But you get what I'm saying? If you're moving Cheeto to safety, that means or Xavier Woods is out the door. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, we will then have almost more safeties than we have corners. and we're already short in corners. Coach,
But hold on a minute. I'm just going to throw it out there. What if you're going to use one of those guys for your nickel and dime guys, and they're not necessarily, you need an experienced guy to come in there.
But see,
So
but you just got Anthony Brown. That's the only problem is you just re-signed your nickel to a 12-year deal, and he's making $4 million a year. That's Anthony
Right.
Brown. So you gotta put that in the suggestion. Like you can't say in a perfect world, I would say Anthony Brown gets cut. You know what I'm saying? Last year.
yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
you also, some of those nickel guys and dime guys also play on special teams. So I'm just saying, I think that they want to see what happens competitively within.
That's what I think.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but the end result is still going to be one of them dudes is getting cut. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it could be,
My money.
it could be a corner,
Xavier
and then
Woods.
you could have a guy that could do like Haha might be able to play corner, might be able to play safety and nickel.
Hey, Coach, I'm gonna
So-
tell you something. If Diggs, the safety we just drafted, isn't a guy who can play, Cheeto is going to stay at corner. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if Diggs can't get out there and hold his own, there's no way Cheeto's going to safety. So a lot of this is really gonna hinge on our second round pick. Can he get out there and dog? Can he at least be in that rotation? Because if he can't, that means Anthony Brown is a starter. And I'm sorry, we have just hurt ourselves. If Anthony Brown is going to be playing, if there's ever a situation in 2020 where Anthony Brown is playing more corner than Cheeto Bay is playing, period, that we're losing. You know what I'm saying? Because Anthony Brown is it is what it is. I don't see how you re-sign
And
him.
I'll say this, man. The fact that Jesse Holley said yesterday that this regime is going to be about competition and accountability. I'm not going to count Anthony Brown out. I'm going to just say this. If past this prologue, Anthony Brown is not going to make it because the person who's consistently won that battle was Jordan Lewis at the nickel. So if it's truly about competition, because last year during training camp, the person that was graded, I believe, 16th or 17th best player overall on the whole team was Jordan Lewis, not Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown wasn't even mentioned. The person that was the voluntary workout standout was Jordan Lewis. So the person that seems to always, when it counts, step up is going to be Jordan Lewis. So I count on him in terms of if it's about competition. The next thing is Reggie Robison. I believe that not enough of us are singling him out for the real safety lock, because even the day they drafted him, Jerry said himself, we're likely going to have Reggie playing safety. And remember, who in this entire crazy draft, where pretty much you could say that we had 5 first-round graded draft, or 4 to 5, right? You can easily make that case that we had 4 to 5 guys with first-round grades at some point. Now, none of those guys was Will McClay's pet cat, though. It was Reggie Robison.
I remember they said
The
about the
person with the
sponsors.
ball skills, making plays on special teams, can actually play a hybrid of safety and corner. Reggie.
Yeah.
And remember, the pet cat of Will McClay last year was Pollard. And look how he shined. The guy that has the greatest alpha talent out of anybody is Will. And when Will highlight you out of all of those guys we drafted, I'm thinking Reggie Robinson go end up at that safety. And nobody really saying that. I think it's going to either be Reggie Robinson, and the only thing is I fear is that Woods give us another mirage to where he's all world in preseason, he's all world at practice like he was in training camp last year, and then shows up as the normal miss tackling Woods in game.
I don't even want him to be a mirage, man. I want him to be the same guy, because this is my thing, man. I think Donovan Wilson's better than both the guys you just said, and he's young, and he's on a 6th-round pick. That means he is dirt cheap. Like, I don't get the Dallas Cowboys. We're the only team that wants cheap until we want something else. Like, you want to pay Earl Thomas, you want to pay Jamal Adams, but you got a guy that makes almost nothing, that had 3 interceptions in the preseason. Yeah, don't play him. Like, I don't get that. Like, if anything, you should want to, we should be trying to ooze everything out of these 6th-round picks that we got that are currently sitting. I keep on saying this, right? I'm gonna make we're gonna do a whole show about guys that you don't know of that are currently on the Dallas Cowboys. Donovan Wilson, Chris Restry, because I'm gonna tell you guys, come around training camp, year 2, Chris Restry, 6'4". Yeah, he's not a wide receiver.
4'3".
He's not
4'3" speed.
He's not a wide 4'3". He's not a wide receiver, bruh. He's a corner. Going down the field.
I saw
you
with
know
my own eyes, man.
And
we all know Cobb was a dog.
Yeah.
Will we all agree that Cobb was a dog last year? Will we all agree on that? He dropped some balls, but he was a dog. I saw Chris West. Now hold on. I gotta hand this to Coach Higgins. I got it, Coach Higgins. I saw this with my own eyes. Explain how hard this is. I saw Chris Westry not let Cobb off the line of scrimmage 3 times in 1-on-1. How hard is that?
And he's 6'4". And Cobb is like 5'10".
That's not supposed to happen.
And Cobb is like 5'10", and he's like 6'4".
And that's your thing too, because obviously when you're 6'4", getting underneath a 5'10" guy, that in itself
is hard.
Is very difficult to do. Then to back it on, we're talking about a very experienced Cobb, who's got great moves at the line of scrimmage, and it doesn't matter whether he's strong or not. He uses rip or swim. Man, there's so many moves and such good footwork with guys like that's impressive. That's very impressive. And you can if you can reroute a guy in the NFL, that's
winning. So, rerouting is winning. Hey, my coaches say rerouting is good defense.
Yep. So, what he doing that in practice?
Huh?
Yeah. And it was a battle. It was a battle. Like you could tell, it's some guys that don't give it out there, right?
Right.
But like I was sitting up there with the other trainer like you, Higgins, Ronnie Braxton, and we was looking right at it, and I said, bro, this is the 3rd time. And he said, yeah, bro, like that's crazy. And like I'm a former DB and he's a former DB, Real Truth or Ronnie Braxton. And it's like on 1-on-1, people got to realize the receiver has the whole field.
Right.
The whole field. And he couldn't move to where he quit.
And was he playing slot? Was he in the slot?
He was in the slot when it happened, Coach. Man. Yeah, and and it's like I can see it once. You'll say, okay,
Cobb is known for his wiggles.
Kind of got him out guard. He caught him slipping. He had his eye on the ball, looked up, and boom, he got hit 3 times. So, like, yeah, nobody talking about Chris Restry either, West Coast. We got good problems.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, so, hey, and I'm going to tell you something else. When you can also not even just rerouting. Man, if I could just get you to get that, if I could just get that quarterback to just look away from you, I have done my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as I can just get him to be like, yeah, like if you were priority number 1, if I can get him to put you at 4, I've done my job. Because by the time you get to 3, oh yeah, my DN is, oh yeah, you're on the ground now. You know what I'm saying? That's him doing his job. Hey, man, I had to get a little, man, it was too many people in the comments that was asking for some, for us to give the flip side of that defense. So shout out to Miss T for asking that question on the defense. That was a good subject. We got to go off on a little bit. Shout out to my boy Brian Double in the comment box. Shout out to Miss Joyce. Miss Joyce, I'm still waiting for my 7-Up cake. It's all good. I see you trying to you doing that Jerry Jones negotiation. You gonna send it when it's more convenient for you. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Miss Joyce. My boy Benjamin says, appreciate the Cowboys content. Hearing y'all and the people y'all talk insight on the Cowboys is educational and enjoyable. Keep doing it. Sent stars, and this dude, and that was the first time he ever sent stars in his life, like ever in his life. So shout out to you guys. Hey, shout out to everybody. Hey, Coach, man, when will you be doing your next live broadcast over there on Coach Higgs training page? When will you be doing your next live broadcast, and what will you be talking about?
I should be going tomorrow night. I try to hit Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 just for an hour.
Pacific or Standard or Central?
I apologize. Yeah, we got people across the country, but it's Eastern time, so that would be obviously 5:30 on the West Coast.
Oh, that's perfect.
And we just get on there. We talk. We could talk. People ask all sorts of stuff. They want to know scheme. They want to know fantasy football. They want to know, drills. They want to know what to do for their kids, because I post a lot of stuff for my training. I kind of post, most of younger guys. I don't post a lot of NFL or free agent guys, so to speak. But I do put a lot of kids on there. So anyway, they'll ask questions about what to do in training, and it's very enjoyable. We just get in there and kind of respect the game. We talk history of the game. They ask questions on all sorts of stuff. So Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30. I appreciate it. You guys want to hop in there? I usually put out a little message that says, "Hey, I'll be on there," and we get it done, and it's a good time.
Boss Cowboy, man. Let them know what you got working on over there on Boss Cowboy Sport. Will you be dropping tomorrow? What should they be expecting to see from you tomorrow? And what subject
I'm
matter?
giving a major curveball, and West Coast heard me working on it. I'm doing a major film breakdown of NFL players, but guess what? Versus a high school quarterback, and I broke it all the way down too. So it's gonna be something that's interesting. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different because I'm Boss Cowboy Sports. I love talking about the Dallas Cowboys, but sometimes talent would just draw me all the way into talking about something a little bit off topic. But it's gonna be worth seeing because if you just like football and you want to see things that's just in detail, check out this video that I'm getting ready to post in the morning because it's also NFL guys getting prepared for the season. So you see guys like Sidney Jones for the Philadelphia Eagles, and you see Chris Harris, and you see what they actually go through preparing. And we even, that's why I saw Mike Jackson out there. And I'm gonna do this a little bit more and more. I got invited tomorrow. I'm not gonna go, but I'm doing a video, and it's gonna be a good one. You're gonna like it. So check it out. And I'm gonna be doing a lot more film breakdown this year. That's what you're gonna really see an upgrade in my talent levels. Is you're gonna see me really go really heavier into breakdowns, like player breakdowns. Because that's what I love to do. I can talk football all day, but I really love to scout. Like I really love to evaluate talent. I love it. And I think Coach Higgins love it as well in West Coast. I love it, man. Like it's just, and I'm never trying to be different. I'm trying to get it right. That's the main thing I'm trying to do. But sometimes when you're trying to get right, it makes you different.
Yeah, man.
So Boss Cowboy Sports, and you'll see it tomorrow morning.
So make sure you guys support that. Make sure you guys support that. Higgs, did you got something before you wanted to say before you get up out of here?
I just wanted to thank everybody. I got a couple of them cash apps at my cash app, so that means a lot. We're out here putting in work, and I hope everybody's supporting you guys. And hey, just hop on the show if you want sometime. You can also follow me on Twitter at Coach Higgs 12. And like I said, I got an Instagram, Coach Higgs training page. But yeah, so that's it, man. We'll be back at it again. And one final thing, I want the fans to know that when you talk and you hear about a guy that just talked about, I'm talking about Boss Man now, about loving to do film breakdown. That is like a coach's dream, because the detailed and compulsiveness that you need to really truly break a film down. I'll give you like this. You can spend an hour on about 20 minutes of film. So you watch in 20 minutes, maybe one quarter. You really truly break it down, and we're talking just one side of the ball as an offensive coordinator, even one player, you can spend up to an hour in that one quarter, man. So it takes a special type of guy, special type of coaches, and people that truly love the game and with detailed work. So I love it as well. So if you want to check that out and see it, I'm interested. I'll check it out. You got me checking it out now, boss. So
yeah, check it out.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell y'all,
and then also break it down too. Don't be nice to me.
And also, real quick, NFL Game Pass is still free. So for any of you guys that wanna, the quest of this is the thing. Professional athletes' goal is to get better each day, right? To get better each year. So your goal as a fan, it should be to get better each year. Each year that you're a fan of your team, you should know a little bit more. Like last year, if you were happy and you were proud of yourself because you followed the draft, okay, that's good. Salute. Now be even more by taking the edge by looking at some film, because I'm gonna tell you guys I'm gonna tell you what happens when you start watching film. You get rewarded with film. You want to know why? Because you'll see something.
Films don't lie.
Like literally, and that is the best feeling in the world from a football guy is when you're watching film on something else and you see Dorrance Armstrong. Like, what the hell is he doing over there at the right end? Well, you want to know why you never heard about him? because he almost always, I know of, not exaggeration, I know of 7 occasions where Dorrance Armstrong should have gotten a sack. That's why I can consistently say right now he's going to get 7 sacks last year, because he should have had 9 last year. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I know of 7 times where his hand was literally just, and the guy just, Guess what? Those are going to matriculate. That's something you would have never seen. And you know who I was looking at? Antoine Woods. They play right next to each other, so I just saw him.
Right.
I literally just saw him. That's how I found out.
And that's the most rewarding part about film.
You get rewarded.
Like, you're not looking for something, and it just pops off.
Like, what the
that's I can't explain it, but that's how I found Bun. I was scouting somebody else, and I saw Bun, and he was just popping off. And I love
the
film,
center,
man.
and think about this: the center from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
We knew about the center from Wisconsin. You want to know why? Why did we know about the center from Wisconsin? Who was he blocking for? What was that good old running back that he was blocking for last year?
Yeah, he was blocking for Taylor.
There you go.
And
who was Taylor? Your number 1 running back.
Yep. And I discovered Badass looking at it. I was actually looking at the Nebraska nose tackle because he ran a super good 40. And I was like, well, let me see if his tape matched that speed. And Badass whooped him up and down. Up and down. Because, your eyes locked into the middle. When my eyes locked into the middle, I kept seeing this guy getting pushed back from the point of attack about 3 to 4 yards every running play.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is doing that?
Yeah.
It was Badass.
And then, boss, let me tell you how the game blessed you even more because you was faithful. The Dallas Cowboys are on the clock, and we're talking about we need to draft someone. And we're like, damn. I'm like, well, why don't we get, why don't we get this? And the boss Cowboy was like, why don't we get that Badass guy? And then you know what happens? The Cowboys draft him.
We drafted him.
And then you feel good because you're like, damn. Someone I accidentally,
some people might get offended at this.
Let me say this point real
I
quick.
don't frankly care.
Let me say this point real quick. Think about this. You accidentally found someone that someone was getting paid to look at on purpose.
But if you look at the combination of this team, we did it 5 times during the draft.
Coach got 2 himself.
Coach Higgins got 2.
He got 2 himself. Film, bro.
He got 2.
Film.
That's crazy. He got 2.
And one of them didn't even get drafted, and we were talking about it.
Right. No, we supposed to talk about it.
You was talking
about
the
Cowboys, but he's going to fall off.
We talked about it, but it was because of you.
Right.
But then we called that. We called Tyler Badass. We called Diggs because that was just honestly too obvious. Neville, like right before Neville picked, we literally called all of it. Like if people watch the show, and it's we have good bells and whistles, but more than that, more than just a lot of pretty stuff, it's substance. Yeah. And if you really like football and good discussion, I think this is one of the best places to be. No offense to anybody else, but it's just what it is. I sincerely believe that, and I should. I mean, and because I think we earned it. Like it was a really I was so impressed with Coach Higgins. I did a film session on him first, and how he first because it was that accurate. I've been in the draft heavy for years, and to hit on 2 picks, a first pick and an undrafted free agent, bruh.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, the odds of that is crazy. It's 700 people, and you pick 2. Well, as a team, I say we got 5. Yeah, 5 out of 10. That's damn good, man.
I tell you though, too, and I appreciate it. I'm not even talking about for real how good or how much I guess production I produced. But what did I say to you before we even got on? I was telling West Coast, I was like, I like to predict things. And I said, you know what's funny? When you guys are ready, if you guys are good, you're going to hear me. I'm going to go right ahead and say, this is what I think. And I'm not afraid to do it because I'm right a lot. I mean, for real. Yeah. And I'm not even saying it like I was going to get the picks. I'm just talking, watching football.
Just good football. Yeah.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
It's to Coach Higgins that I know next year. I'm going to just be honest with you. I know next year I'm going to lean under you for receiver. Like I trust my eyes. I trust my analysis. But before I can go up, I'm going to go down to go up. You know what I mean? I'm going to go down You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit under you, go back and forth with you, compare and contrast with you, and then that's gonna help me come back up.
My
You
boy
know,
said we
so
Hulk smashed the draft. I heard that, Janelle. I like that. He said we Hulk smashed the draft. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, as a group, it was a monster. Like, you know, and I can't wait to do work again with this group. I can't wait. Like to next year, because it was the first time I met Coach Higgins 2 weeks before the draft. So now when we doing work months before the draft, when we talking months before these guys are picked, when we evaluating these guys months before it happened, man, it's gonna be fun, man.
Hey,
I just can't.
I'm a poker funny. You were going back, like you said at the beginning of the show, and you were sizing up that dude, right? Who's this guy?
No. I trust. When you come on this show, I know you vetted, bro, because
you know,
West
hey,
Coast,
yeah, you know what's up.
You quick. Like
I don't mess
if you
with
don't
everybody.
have the substance, he ain't gonna do shows with you. I'm just gonna be honest. I've been rocking with him for a while. If he don't trust your sword, you might get one chance.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something about you, West Coast? You know what's funny? What I liked about you, because look, I mean, you know this. I can talk some football, and I know what I'm doing. But it takes somebody that knows what they're talking about and someone very competent to talk to me and say, I don't agree. West Coast, when you say that to me, I'm like, okay, what you talking about? Let me hear you. And what you say actually, wait a minute. I'm starting to second guess what I said. Wait, no, I'm not. I disagree with you, West Coast. No, I'm kidding. But that means that you are good at what you do. You study it, you know it. But above all, about all three of us, we love it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. When it comes to wide receiver technique, cornerback technique, I ain't never gonna disagree with you on that. That's I mean, you the expert.
You can, bro.
I can't, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm gonna lean to the expert on that, man. But hey, I want to appreciate you guys for everybody for watching tonight, man. We've been on here for going on 2 hours, man. 1 hour and 47 minutes, man. I just want to let everybody know, man. Tomorrow I'll be doing some live. What's tomorrow? Thursday. Tomorrow's my last day before I go on my vacation this weekend, man. I will be doing a little bit of content here and there, but as long as if it's breaking news, we're going to be rocking it. But you already know what it is, man. I say I'm not, and then we be right here live, sitting here chopping it up, man. So, you know what I'm saying? We'll see how the day goes, because if Dak gets signed, you already know, man. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be popping.
It's going to be crazy. But you guys already know what it is, man. Never look down because the star is up. Peace.